Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 1 Episode 8, much more of The Witcher. So this is the last episode of The Witcher this season. I want to thank everyone for the support of these videos and thank you for your patience because I know I take a while to make these. I will be doing more Witcher videos about lore and news about the second season, but what other kind of videos would you like to see? It could be something specific to The Witcher or another show that you think I should explain. Leave your suggestions down in the comments below. Without further ado, Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri's timelines are finally happening at the same time, or within a couple of hours of each other. This is the first time this season this has happened, and hopefully this carries over into Season 2. The first thing we see is Geralt leaving Cintra as it burns from the Nilfgaard attack. He is not sure what happened to Ciri. She could have escaped, she could be dead, or she could have been captured by Nilfgaard. Geralt comes across a Cintra refugee camp that has been attacked. There's a man there named Yerga, who is a merchant. He wants to give the dead a proper burial. Geralt makes a comment to Roach, which is his horse, saying, "Come on, Roach, back to Kaer Morhen." Kaer Morhen is a Witcher school where Geralt was trained at, so Geralt has no intention of even looking for Ciri. Geralt rides off and Yerga continues to pile up the bodies. However, Yerga is not alone. Ghouls start coming up from beneath the ground and try to attack the merchant. Lucky for him, Geralt comes back and saves them. Ghouls are the most common corpse eaters and they only come out at night. Ghouls do not eat living beings. They first kill their prey with their claws and fangs. If given the option, ghouls will let the bodies decompose for a while before eating it. Ghouls can be hurt by fire, silver, and bright light, which is why they only come out at night. We see that Geralt has already taken a potion ready to deal with the ghouls. He tells the merchant to go home, that one bite would kill him. Yerga argues with Geralt for a bit, but does decide to leave. Geralt is then attacked by a pack of ghouls. Geralt takes them out swiftly, but after the fight is over, he finds out he has been bitten. Geralt immediately feels the effects of the bite and passes out. But Geralt is a Witcher, making his immune system much stronger than a normal human. He could still die from the bite, but it will take much longer. We then find ourselves with Ciri. Last episode, we saw her magical gifts and her speaking of a prophecy. Ciri wakes up in the middle of a field. Zola, the woman Ciri stole a horse from, finds her. Zola is confused about what happened here. Ciri is as well. She tells Zola that the men came for her. We then see that the men who were going to kidnap Ciri are all dead. They have been flung across the field, being impaled by tree branches or dying from the fall. Even the horse Ciri stole died. The grass around her has been pushed down and the earth has been scorched from where she was. Most likely what happened was something similar to what Pavetta did during her betrothal. Ciri released a powerful magical pulse, killing everybody nearby. Zola hugs Ciri and tells her she is safe. She then offers Ciri once again to bring her home with her. This time, Ciri agrees. We know Zola has always wanted a daughter, that is why she's doing all this, but after Ciri stole her horse, I personally would have been done with her. But clearly Zola is much more forgiving than me. We then find ourselves with some of the mages who agreed to stop Nilfgaard. This includes Yennefer, Tissaia, Triss, and Vilgefortz to name a few. There are 60 mages in total willing to fight Nilfgaard. The mages are heading towards Sodden Hill. There's an old elven keep there where they plan to make their defense. Vilgefortz tells the others that Sodden Hill is one of the only ways for Nilfgaard to move into the northern kingdoms, to continue their advance. So if they are able to hold Sodden Hill, they can save the continent from Nilfgaard. Tissaia also says that they have sent word to the other northern kingdoms. Temeria, Cadwyn will join them at Sodden to defend the north, but they do not know if they will make it in time before Nilfgaard attacks. We have seen Temeria before. Triss is an advisor there, and King Foltest is who Geralt helped in episode 3. The mages arrive at Sodden. They start preparing for the Nilfgaard attack, fortifying the keep and getting everyone inside. We see people putting blue minerals into bottles, and Vilgefortz is casting spells over them. These bottles are pretty much grenades, and they have a crap load of them. It is nightfall now, and we see that the Nilfgaardian army is marching towards the keep. Fringilla last episode insisted that Nilfgaard was not here to conquer, but it looks like she was lying. Yennefer asks Triss if she believes King Foltest of Temeria will bring his army. Yennefer sees that without the aid of the northern kingdoms, their chances of stopping Nilfgaard are slim. Triss says that Foltest will come. that she helped save his daughter by lifting a curse, and that she was aided by a Witcher, Geralt of Rivia. Triss says she often wonders where fate took him. Fate and destiny play a major role in this series. It is pretty much mentioned every episode. In a way, this is almost a callback to when Geralt linked his fate to Yennefer's when he made his last wish to the djinn. Yennefer says probably somewhere unpleasant. She could be meaning herself, Yennefer realizing that she isn't the most pleasant of people to be around, but then she says Geralt's kind is often disappointing. So Yennefer is still sad and somewhat angry about the whole situation with Geralt. She believes his wish is the reason why she feels the way she does about Geralt. So it's not real in her eyes, it's just magic. Tissaia and Yennefer talk for a bit. With the possibility of death on the horizon, Tissaia asks Yennefer if she is ready to die. Yennefer believes she is. Yennefer says she has lived 3 lifetimes already, but Tissaia points out that Yennefer wasn't satisfied with any of them. Yennefer says she has no legacy to leave behind, no family. It's time to accept that life has no more to give. Yennefer believes she has done all she can in this life. The one thing she has wanted, a child, she cannot have. She doesn't seem scared of the possibility of death. Yennefer seems more sad about the things she couldn't do in her lifetime. Tissaia tells Yennefer she has so much more to give yet. Tissaia has always been there for Yennefer, and is almost like a mother to her. It makes sense that Tissaia believes this, trying to push Yennefer to believe there is so much more to live for, and that Yennefer has much more to give yet. We then find ourselves with Nilfgaard. They are encamped near Sodden Hill. A general is telling Cahir that they should wait for the rest of the Nilfgaard forces from Cintra to arrive, and then attack the keep, where Yennefer and the rest of the mages are. Fringilla has no worries about the mages. She says, "We have magic too, without rules or restrictions. I will personally deplete them until they are empty and powerless." Fringilla believes that she and her mages are enough to defeat them. Yennefer and the mages at the keep have rules to follow, set by the Brotherhood, like no fire magic, no necromancy, or conjuring of creatures. Fringilla and her mages do not have any regulations. The general also says they believe Ciri has crossed the Yaruga, which is the river separating the northern and southern kingdoms. With Cahir hearing that, he makes the decision to attack the mages and not wait for reinforcements. We then return to Ciri. She is getting acquainted with the people who took her in. We see a large ball of fire in the skies. Zola says it's Nilfgaard. We return to Sodden Hill with Yennefer. She is just able to wake up before the fireball hits. She is able to stop it and throw it away from the keep. This tells us that Ciri is maybe a couple of miles away from where Yennefer and Nilfgaard are, and that she has not crossed the Yaruga either. She is still south of the river. We then see that Fringilla and her mages are the ones behind the fireballs. It seems that when a mage conjures a fireball like this, they give their life for it. And as we've learned from episode 2, all magic has a cost. Fringilla then conjures up 2 items in each hand, a bag of something and a tiny box. She keeps the bag and hands the box to another mage. Fringilla tells him to draw the mages out, so the box is part of her scheme to defeat Yennefer and the other mages at the keep. The next morning, the mages are surprised how Nilfgaard was able to get there so quickly. Vilgefortz says they cannot wait for the northern kingdoms to arrive. They have to fight now. After the surprise attack from the night before, many of the mages have left. There was 60, now they are down to 22. We then see the Nilfgaardian army heading towards the keep. A thick fog accompanies them. The mages on the Nilfgaardian side are producing it. The reason why they are doing this is so it covers the movement of their troops. Tissaia instructs some of the mages to get into position. She tells Yennefer to keep watch on the tower and reserve her chaos. Tissaia knows how powerful Yennefer is, especially if she releases her full power. So Tissaia has a plan for when to use Yennefer's power. She doesn't want Yennefer to waste any of her chaos until the fighting is at its thickest. We return to Geralt. Jurga has put Geralt on the back of his carriage. As they are traveling, we see that there is a fog in the forest. They are near the Battle of Sodden Hill. The fog is from the Nilfgaardian mages. This means that all 3 POV characters are very close to one another. Geralt is not doing well on the back of the carriage. He is delirious and in a lot of pain. In this state, Geralt has a vision, a memory of his past. He sees himself as a young boy with his mother, Vicenna. His mother tells him we must live and let live, a moral code for Geralt to live by. We then see a baby Borch in his vision who says, "It's magic, it's not real." This is the same thing Yennefer said after she found out Geralt made a wish about their fate to be intertwined. Geralt's memories and thoughts are starting to merge in his hallucinations. Geralt wakes from his dreamlike state. Yerga points out that his wound is getting worse. Geralt pulls out a potion from his bag. It is a black liquid. He drinks some of the liquid, grimacing as he does. He then pours the rest on his wound, causing smoke to come from his wound. We then find out later in the episode this potion is actually able to heal the wound and cure him. Geralt tells Yerga to take him to the Blue Mountains, where someone will be able to heal him. Yerga tells him that is impossible, that's on the other side of Sodden. Geralt doesn't have time to respond and he passes out again. Geralt has another vision or memory from his past. He once again is just a child, his mother and him are traveling. We then see his mother is able to conjure an apple for young Geralt, meaning his mother was a mage. Now some of you may be thinking, how was she able to have Geralt? All mages are infertile, right? This is the case with most mages, but some are still able to have children. It is never said why though. Geralt is then abandoned by his mother after she tells him to fetch water for her. When Geralt returns, she was gone, and Vesemir was waiting for him. Vesemir is not in Season 1, but he will be in Season 2. He is a fencing instructor at Kaer Morhen, where Geralt trained to be a Witcher. Many people want Mark Hamill for the role of Vesemir, even the actor himself has expressed an interest in the role. It is never said why she abandons Geralt, most likely because she never wanted a child. She's a mage. She was probably pretty surprised when she found out she was pregnant. In the next scene, Geralt is laid against a tree. It seems that a woman is trying to heal his wounds. We then see who the woman is, Renfri. Yennefer also appears in this hallucination, telling Geralt his wounds will be fine. We then get to see the actual woman who is healing Geralt. She has red hair and is a sorceress like his mother, because it is his mother. She credits Geralt's slow pulse for saving him. She heard Yerga's cries for help. Most mages are at Sodden right now, but she says she is a healer, the only thing she was ever good at. She then says people linked by destiny will always find each other. Geralt realizes who it is then. He is angry about what his own mother did, abandoning him. He wants closure. He wants to know why she left him. She doesn't give him an answer though, saying the answers will only hurt us both. Geralt starts to pass out. His mother tells him to go find her, meaning Ciri. She then also says that this is just a dream. So none of this was real. He never actually met his mother. In the books, this actually happens. He is face to face with his mother. I don't know why they would change it to a dream sequence. I feel it has less of an impact because it was a dream. Geralt awakes from the dream and he seems to be cured. Yerga tells him that he was calling out for a bunch of women when he was sleeping. Yerga offers to pay the Witcher for saving his life with the Law of Surprise. Geralt says he will take an ale instead, and they continue to Yerga's home. We return back to Yennefer. She is on top of the tower as Overwatch. She is speaking with the other mages telepathically. She tells Tissaia that Nilfgaard is marching towards them. Tissaia and Triss are in front of the keep. She tells Triss it's time. Triss puts her hands on the ground and starts chanting in Elder speech. Triss casts a deadly spell. Mushrooms start growing where the Nilfgaard forces are, and they release a deadly gas, killing some of the Nilfgaardians. We now get to see what those bottles they were filling up with blue minerals can do. Some of the mages start hurling them towards Nilfgaard, and other mages start shooting them with arrows, causing them to explode. When the material from the bottles makes contact with the opposition, it burns them, even through their armor, killing them. Cahir and Fringilla are watching their army get destroyed. Cahir instructs the rest of his troops to get to the other front. As soon as they leave, Yennefer instructs Vilgefortz to portal to Cahir's destination. Vilgefortz easily takes out the remaining Nilfgaardian soldiers who stayed with Cahir. Vilgefortz and Cahir then face off. Cahir is much more formidable than Vilgefortz initially thought, easily parrying his attacks. Yennefer tells Vilgefortz through telepathy to slow down, to reserve his chaos. Every time Vilgefortz loses his sword, he can conjure one up, but it depletes his chaos. Every special move or attack he does the same. Yennefer is telling Vilgefortz to pace himself or run the risk of not being able to use magic. Vilgefortz does run out of chaos and Cahir is able to defeat him. Cahir kicks him down a hill where Vilgefortz is knocked unconscious. Fringilla is with some of the Nilfgaardian archers. She's able to cast a spell to break the gate of the keep. Fringilla then makes a portal into the keep. The archers fire into the portal, killing some of the people inside. We then see the mage Fringilla gave the box to. The mage becomes dust and dies and drops the box just inside the keep. Tissaia confronts Fringilla in the woods, pleading with her to stop this senseless violence, that Fringilla can come back to the Brotherhood. Fringilla has no intention of coming back. She tells Tissaia that they sunk the 50 Skellige ships, and that is how they were able to defeat Cintra. If you recall last episode, Queen Calanthe spoke of how her husband was supposed to bring reinforcements to help with Nilfgaard. This is the first we hear that the ships never made it to Cintra, securing Nilfgaard's victory. Tissaia still has hope for Fringilla, trying to persuade her to stop. But then Fringilla throws Dimeridium powder at Tissaia. Dimeridium is a special metal that suppresses magical power. So Tissaia is completely powerless at this moment until the Dimeridium is out of her system. This means she can no longer communicate with Yennefer telepathically. Fringilla then casts another spell opening the box the mage dropped in the keep. We see black-like worms coming out of it. Yennefer communicates with the rest of the mages to retreat back to the keep. Then Nilfgaard is gaining ground. Though it does not help much, many are killed on the way back. Sabrina is acting very strange during all this. She grabs 2 of the bombs and gives them to 2 young boys, and nods at them, as though she has a plan at hand. Sabrina walks to the top of the tower where Yennefer is. She stabs her. We then find out that Sabrina has one of those worm things in her ear. It is controlling her and the 2 boys she was with. The 2 boys drop the bombs onto a big table literally full of bombs, causing a lot of death in the keep. Yennefer and Sabrina continue to fight on the tower, but they are thrown off of it from the force of the explosion. Yennefer is able to land on her feet using her magic. Sabrina is unable to and crashes to the ground. Yennefer starts looking for Tissaia at this point. Yennefer tries to communicate with the other mages telepathically. She tells them to get to the front line, that they can't give up. They must continue to fight. Fringilla is the only one to respond, telling her that Nilfgaard is the place for her, that there are no limits, only power and potential. That could be her legacy. Fringilla knows this is what Yennefer wants, to leave a legacy, so she is trying to play to Yennefer's wants and desires. Yennefer ignores her and continues to look for Tissaia. Vilgefortz regains consciousness. He finds an injured mage surrounded by a bunch of dead Nilfgaardian soldiers. Vilgefortz smashes his head in with a mace instead of helping him, showing that Vilgefortz may have other intentions than originally thought. Those intentions will be revealed in Season 2. Yennefer finally finds Tissaia, but she is weakened from the Dimeridium. Tissaia falls to the ground. Yennefer, in the midst of defeat, tells Tissaia that she saved her all those years ago, something she has never been able to admit to her. Tissaia tells her it's her turn to save these people, this continent, that this will be your legacy. Tissaia tells Yennefer to remember everything you've buried, the hardships, the pain, and use that emotion and let your chaos explode. Yennefer casts a powerful spell, releasing a wave of fire that engulfs the Nilfgaardian army. This is fire magic. She drew the power from the fire at the keep on top of the hill, and then she released it upon the army. Earlier in the season, Tissaia says how Yennefer lets her emotions control her decisions, letting chaos control her. But at this moment, having those emotions was a catalyst for her, allowing her to make this attack even more powerful. King Foltest of Temeria finally arrives with his army to meet Nilfgaard. We will have to wait till Season 2, however, to find out what happens with him. We return to Ciri. She is being comforted by Zola, saying how Nilfgaard isn't coming here, they are going north. Zola then says how she believes she was meant to find Ciri. Ciri has a dream about Tissaia and Geralt, people she has never met before, looking for Yennefer. Ciri awakes, remembering what her grandmother said, to find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny. Ciri's vision did happen. Tissaia was looking for Yennefer at this moment, and it was at the battlefield where they were fighting Nilfgaard at. Geralt being there, though, probably didn't happen. I'm not sure why he appeared there on the battlefield in her dream yelling for Yennefer. This could have been when Geralt was still hallucinating about his mother. Remember, Jurga said Geralt was calling out a bunch of names in his sleep. Maybe Ciri was able to transport her mind to Tissaia and Geralt, and they both just so happened to be calling for Yennefer. Ciri never has this vision in the books. To me, this just shows Ciri's mysterious power and how she doesn't know how to control it yet. Ciri realizes she cannot stay with this family. She needs to continue her search for Geralt, and she sneaks out in the morning. Jurga and Geralt then arrive at the farm, and we find out that Zola is actually Jurga's wife. Zola tells her husband that she found a girl in the woods. Geralt remembers what Renfri told him all those years ago. The girl in the woods is your destiny. Geralt realizes that it is Ciri, and he heads off into the woods looking for her. Ciri and Geralt finally meet, and they embrace in a hug. Geralt repeats what his mother told him in his dream, that people linked by destiny will always find each other. Ciri then asks Geralt who Yennefer is, after seeing him call for her in her dream. And that is the end of Season 1. So in the books, Geralt accepts Jurga's law of surprise payment, and when he gets to the farm, Jurga finds something he doesn't know he has, which is Ciri, because Zola took her in. And it is a really cool moment in the books. It shows that people linked by destiny will always find each other. I wish they would have just done it the way the books did it for this scene, but I guess either way, it's the same result, So what did you guys think of episode 8? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.